All right, folks, so it's been a while since I did a video on the hatch construction of the second teardrop that I'm building for my mom and dad. Had a lot of other stuff going on. It's been, I think it was September when I did the last video, when I put the last video for the teardrop. So I've been trying to get things together for that, and I'm just now getting that stuff rolling. I've actually got all that footage done. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll see that I'm a lot farther along than what the videos show. But I'm trying to get all that footage put together now so I can have that stuff ready to go. So I'm going to show you how this hatch is starting to come together, how we're starting to fit together the pieces that we cut out earlier in the build, and how this whole thing is going to work. If you want to go back and check out the link above, I'll put a link to the previous video. That was part 1 of the series, and this will be part 2, so here we go. So if you recall, in the last video, we cut out and trimmed up the bottom piece that attaches to the trailer with a side seal makes up on the side. I did not get any videos, but I have since attached that over the top of those spacer pieces, and right before that step I trimmed off those spacer pieces here so that they match the side of the trailer. So that's the first step to the line. They should be perfect. Then once we have those pieces trimmed, we trace them to a 3/4 inch thick piece and then cut those out. I didn't show it here, but I actually left those a little large as well and sanded those to the line when I was finished. Alright, so the next piece, or the next step after we've got our top seal spacer trimmed here, is to take that spacer and put it back in. Now this is going to require a little bit of trimming and cutting and just sort of fitting, but what you're going for here is you want a 1/4 inch gap all the way down between the bottom seal and that spacer. That spacer, remember, it used to be a 1/2 inch piece, and now we took the 1/2 inch and we made a copy of it, and now it's 3/4 inch thick. You'll start to see in a minute how that works. But that space that it leaves there is your 1/4 inch gap. That's where your rubber seal is going to sit, and that's what's going to make this thing be, hopefully, watertight. So all of this is referenced off the fact that we cut this piece out of the side. Got the piece cut. This is going to be, you can see here, this is a 3/4 inch piece that I used. The 1/2 inch piece that I had for when I cut off the piece from the side seal here, I used that. I made the template, I sanded it down, made it all match my marks, and then I traced it onto a 3/4 inch piece of plywood. So what that does is that makes this piece fit. And now we're fitting it back in place and keeping a 1/16 inch gap here, which was what we cut out of it with the blade. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to countersink some screw holes here. You can see I've done 3. I'll probably do a few more than that, but you can see here I'm going to countersink some screw holes in here, and this will hold this piece together so that we can set it in place and fit the next piece to it. Next section here, what I am going to make is a gusset. The gusset will sit inside of the trailer next to the seal, and it's actually what the spar is attached to, and it'll be the last piece that we'd use in our buildup of the sides. We've got the original wall piece we cut out. We've got an 1/8 inch gap between it and this piece, and over the top of that we'll have what I'm going to call the top sealing piece on the hatch side of things, and then attached to that over here, an 1/8 inch of away from the bottom seal, we'll have the gusset. The gusset's what will hold these two pieces together, and it's what the spars will attach to, like I said. And it's an integral part, because what it does is it stops the hatch from having any spring back. And what spring back is because of the material, the Luan and also the aluminum on the outside in my case, the hatch wants to spring up. And what that gusset does is it keeps this side tight from top to bottom so that that spring back doesn't occur, and the hatch will stay good and put down onto the side of the trailer. So back over here you can see this is 1/2 inch, same plywood I've used for everything else. And what I did here is I took my end wall piece. This is my piece that I cut out originally out of my end wall. It's nice and smooth. I've got it to my pretty much my final finishing curve there. Everything's been sanded good. And I took and I traced along the outside here. Traced the line all the way down to get the outside profile. Next thing I did was I measured. Now, if you'll remember, I've actually got it marked here. This gusset is 2 inches. My spars are going to attach. As it sits here, this is the outside of the trailer. This is the top. This would be the left side, the way I've got it sitting. And the inside will be here, and the spars will attach to the other side of this 1/2 inch. So the spars are going to be 2.5 inches across. They're 1x3s, which are actually 3/4 of an inch by 2.5 inches. So I want them to be inset from this, and this will, if you'll just stay with me here, this is all going to make sense. I want them to be inset 1/2 inch. That way this gusset sits proud of all of my framing materials. And when I go to put on my inside skin, that will make sense. Actually, I've got the hatch of my other trailer open here, and I can show you. The piece that I'm talking about right now is this gusset right here. And you'll see mine is actually a little bit thicker here. So mine sits in a good bit. But it's 3 inches here, so you've got about a 1/2 inch of inset here. And a 1/2 inch of inset, a little bit more actually down here. And I think I made this one maybe 5 inches in the middle. We'll go back over to the piece we're cutting here. I measured this one to be 3 inches here. And I measured a mark. And this is sort of random. It depends on your trailer. It depends on your countertop height. And with this being the bottom, your countertop is going to jet out. I'll show you here. You have to kind of pay attention to the countertop here because this gusset will sit inside here. And I'm going to have to trim this countertop back no matter what. On my other trailer, I actually notched the gusset, which you could do. That takes a little bit of stability out of the gusset. But I did mine. My hatch is really heavy and it has a lot of pressure on it from the gas struts, and it seems to be doing just fine. So anyways, I measured here 3 inches. I measured in the middle 4 inches, and here 3 inches. I took me a piece of, let's see here, I took me a piece of trim. Got this little piece of 3/16, I think it is, inch thick pine trim, and I just used that to make me a fair curve. Fair meaning that it's nice and smooth, it doesn't have any bumps in it. From this point to this point, and from this point out to this point. You'll see 2 lines here. I'm actually going to use the inner line because I feel like it makes a little bit better fit. So as to keep my same curve, I will use this same gusset to make a template for the other side so that we have 2 gussets that match. That'll really help out. Making those exactly the same will help out when you get ready to assemble things with the spars in the middle. Once I had those gusset pieces measured out and set up, I went ahead and cut those out. I did not get a video of that, but it's the same as the rest of the pieces. You just cut those out, make sure you cut them close to the mark but not over, and then sand them down to fit nicely. That's a good stopping point for now. There's a little bit more going on there with the gusset that I need to show you, and then we'll start assembling everything together. So for now, I'm going to stop right there. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel and you'll get updates every time I post a new video. And also check me out on Instagram and Facebook in the links below, as I post other content there that you do not see in these videos. So thanks for watching and have a good one.